In space, no one can hear you scream, but on Earth, everyone can. And they might watch you do it, too. Spoilers ahead for the first 2 episodes of Alien Earth. Hello, everyone. This is Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, if you've seen Alien Earth, if you're looking forward to more Alien Earth, hit that subscribe button. Going to be talking about it on the channel and reviewing, recapping, and discussing every episode as they happen. And if you haven't seen Alien Earth, episodes 1 and 2 streaming now in Canada, I watched on Disney Plus. I think it's on Hulu, FX, wherever it is. Hit the pause button. Go watch it, and I'll see you in 2 hours because it is definitely worth a watch. I'm going to talk about it. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Alien Earth. I want to hear what you guys thought of it in the comments below. Let me know. What did you like? What did you not like? What are you hoping more of? What are you hoping less of? Any of that stuff. I really want to know because I went into this. Look, I did the review or the early reaction show a few days ago, and on Rotten Tomatoes it was like a 90% of the time. I don't know what it is now, and I don't freaking care at this point because it's live on my TV. But back then it was about 90%. People were liking it, some weren't. They were saying this and that about it, and I went in not really knowing what to expect. But one that I didn't actually mention on the show, I don't think, that caught my attention was someone said it was like the Andor for the Alien franchise. And I said, that's unique, that's interesting. What do you mean by that? And I still don't know. I guess we'll find out soon. I think I do understand what it is. It definitely plays on the ridiculousness, and I said this in that review show, the ridiculousness of Alien, but it does it in a sophisticated way. It portrays it in a sophisticated manner, and I think it really works to its benefit. It's such a big advantage that it has, and I wasn't sure what the heck this was really going to be about, to be honest. I saw the trailer. Only kind of half paid attention to what I saw, though, to be honest, because I like to go into these things fresh and not really know what's going on. So I was like, you know what? It's a series. Let's see what we got. I don't want to watch, stuff that happens in the last episode 7 months before I see it. I don't need that in my life. So I haven't seen I've seen the trailer, but I haven't watched it multiple times. I really did like it, though. I thought it was a lot of fun. I was really looking forward to it. So let's get right into it, right? So we're watching this episode 1 and 2. Which they were called Neverland, and episode 2 is called Mr. October. Neverland was such, I didn't know. I was like, this is an interesting name. Okay, sure. And then watching it, like, oh, that's genius, because they have the Prodigy Neverland, like, island ranch facility type thing where we meet, there's ends up being Wendy. We meet Wendy at the beginning, and she's a sick girl, who doesn't have much longer to live on Earth, and there's a new procedure happening, and she's the first one of this procedure where they're going to basically use her and take all of her mind and memory and all that and place it into an android's body, and she's going to be the very first one of that. And I thought that was a very unique way to do a new character in it, because one of the things with the Alien franchise, because Alien, 1, 2, 3, Resurrection, all these movies, Romulus at the end there is the protagonist. Like, how do you start changing the protagonist? How do you make a new create a new antagonist that's really or protagonist that's just not, Sigourney Weaver 2.0, Sigourney Weaver 2.7. And they've kind of done this thing where she is Sigourney Weaver like 3.9 or whatever, but in a very unique, structured way. And I really like the way that they handled it. And it played out later on as well. But before we get into all that stuff with Wendy, we got to rewind a little bit, because the way the show starts, I thought, was a 10 out of 10. You got the text on the screen, and then you get what you would refer to as like the spaghetti scene, I think is what George Lucas referred to this as, where you have the characters that at the time you're like, oh, these must be our characters, and they're all sitting around talking, discussing. There's five companies that run everything now, blah, and they go over all the companies, discussing who they are, what they're operating, and you learn that this vessel, the spaceship, is collecting specimen, and they're still 4 months from landing up back on Earth. They're 4 months left in their journey back to Earth, and they have all these specimens, and then you start seeing the face hug. You start seeing all these little cool aliens all around, and you're like, all right, something bad's happening with this ship. This must be the one from that trailer that I didn't watch much of that's going to crash land on Earth, and this is going to spearhead the whole the whole series now. And you're wondering why you're watching it, how that storyline and the Wendy storyline are going to coincide, right? That was like, you're like, how these two are happening side by side, and both of them fascinating. I was really sucked in by both of them, and I really, really enjoyed what they were doing with both. But how are they going to come to a head on what they're doing? And as it goes on, and man, the way this is shot, edited, like just it blew my mind that this was a TV series. And I think I've said this, I don't know, maybe TV series, I need to give TV series more respect, maybe. But this one I thought was exceptionally well shot, and the editing was exceptional as well. They do like these half dissolves where they linger on things a little bit too long on purpose, and it worked out beautifully in what they were trying to convey with it. But while the ship is going down, they all go back into the cryopods to be frozen for a little bit for the last little bit of the journey. And one of the characters is a cyborg on it, and freaking fantastic character, I thought, just absolutely, like, just the way he did it. And he's in like this pod at the front of the ship, and he's typing like, "What specimen escaped," and the crew is, and then a crew member starts banging like, let me out, help me. And he looks back and he seals, he has like fire out of his fingers, and he seals the door shut. And then he says the crew's dead. And then Alien, the Xenomorph, comes in, kills that woman, breaks into where he is. He goes under the pod. He calls the ship mother. He goes under the pod, puts on an oxygen mask because he's a cyborg, and he's just like, we're crash landing on Earth. We can't stop this. The specimen's loose. Chill out. And so that's going on a while, and then now we cut to Wendy, and she's watching her brother. She's obsessed with her brother. Obviously, she wants to be reunited with her brother, but she knows she never can be. So she's watching his life through monitors all over the city and everything, and she sees everything that he does. And they have some touching moments and whatnot. But what I love was the title was Neverland. And why? Okay, there's a Neverland facility, of course. But what they do is they have, now that Wendy is successful and they've successfully transferred her essence over into this AI, basically, now they can do this for more kids. So they bring in more kids, and they do the same thing with them. And they're referred to as the Lost Boys, which I really love it later in the episode. I really love that. But they're called the Lost Boys, but they do all this. And one thing that I thought was really genius, and I wasn't really sure how they were going to play it, but they've been doing a masterful job of having kids in adult bodies, but it doesn't get tiring, and it's not played as a laugh. It's played real. Like, I was just watching it. There were points when these things would happen. You're like, yeah, they're kids, and then you just start kind of seeing them as kids who are indestructible. But I think they're going to be destructible at some point. But that's how you're seeing it. And you're like, this is fast. I thought it was just fascinating, and the whole idea. Like the whole series so far, the episodes 1 and 2, seem to be a lot about like life and creating life and what it means to create life. And is it all about ego? Or is it about your story, your history, your fascination just because you can? Like, what is the purpose of creating life, and what is life ultimately? And we learn later on that the child prodigy, the brilliant child, the genius child, he just wants to create someone that's his equal, that he can have a conversation with. It's not about money, it's not about power, it's just about that. And the show really did a great job of these philosophical questions and asking that from all these different angles. And Timothy Oliphant's character is just he's an android, and he's fantastic in it as well. His role is minor, but what he's doing, he's kind of leading these Lost Boys. Because what happens is while Wendy is watching her brother, you see that he wants to quit, and he wants to be a medic, and he wants to go to the medical school, but he gets rejected. And on the day of his rejection, the spaceship carrying the Xenomorph and other alien species crash lands on Earth, and he is part of search and rescue. He is the medic there, and they have to go in, and they have to find everybody, and they don't know what's going on. And while they're doing it, they encounter some other things that are going on. And of course, the Xenomorph's in there stalking and hunting his prey as well. And I liked that they didn't overuse the Xenomorph, but they didn't underutilize it either. I didn't find. Let me know your thoughts. I thought they used it to the perfect amount, especially in episode 1. You got that nice close-up of it. You got him killing people. And the way some of the kills were done, where the camera just kind of stayed back and you just saw like the tail flying and then blood splatter, I thought that was just as effective, more effective, I would say, than a close-up half the time. I really enjoyed that. and the episode goes on, and then as you see, like they just there's more going on than meets the eye with Xenomorph and what it is and that. And you see the Cyborgs coming up, and he's up to something suspicious as well. He takes two of the rescue squad, and he basically has them killed without killing them himself. And he's moving around and stuff like that. And we get into the second episode now. They're getting closer. We see Wendy has now landed. They're getting closer to her brother, who had an encounter with a Xenomorph, which was a great scene as well. Chase down the hallway, and he comes to, and they got like another search and rescue is like, we've got to evacuate the building, and they find a dinner party going on. And in the dinner party is like, we're not leaving. And while that happens, we get the first right in the face from the Xenomorph, which was gory at the end when you saw the aftermath of it. So that was pretty good to see that. But Wendy does get reunited with her brother in this episode, and it's a very good moment. But you see that he doesn't fully believe what's going on either. This episode's called Mr. October because there's a connection with their father and through baseball and whatnot. And I just love it. And Mr. October, Reggie Jack, all that stuff, very fantastic, very well done. But he doesn't fully believe who she is and what she claims to be and all that. And it wasn't done again. It wasn't done over the top. There's just a scene with him walking down this corridor, like hallway, and you're like, well, what's happening? Like, he just is like just in like this daze, and he asks her a question, like, what did you say to me this Christmas morning? And she gives the answer, and he fully believes and commits to her being that. While this is happening, Timothy Olyphant, they find like this weird specimen in the room. The other Lost Boys do, and Timothy Olyphant has to go and check it out. And he's using the data. He plugs it into his own skin. He starts using the data to see what it is. And then they see all the eggs all around. And he tells one of the Lost Boys, like, you got to go there. You got to go there. And then it's crazy. So he's like, he calls Wendy, you got to go there. And that's where they're all going. And when they go to the eggs, the brother looks down, and I was like, oh man, like, because part way through it, I was like, they can't kill the brother, right? Like, the show's kind of effectively over if you kill the brother. I mean, you got to change your plot if you kill the brother right away. So it started opening. I was like, okay, we're going to get the second episode. You kill the brother. Okay, I guess, so we're there. And it just doesn't open. It kind of shuts. He's like, we got to call this in. And that's when a Xenomorph comes and knocks him out of like the broken wall and falls down. And Wendy, his sister, is like, I gotta go get him. And we end and we cut and you just see the eggs and some nice rock music plays and it went off. And I just thought that this was a fantastic start to a series. Again, I've loved most of the Alien movies. I like Romulus. I thought I had some issues with the ending, I thought, but like, it was nice to be back in this world. And again, like the opening scene, like it's weird because, you watch like Alien and Star Wars, which are these futuristic movies, even though Star Wars is a long time ago, obviously. But they're futuristic, but they have the 70s technology. And the fact that they doubled down on the 70s technology, and this was great because this is 2 years, I think it's 2 years before the original Alien movie. And so they don't have to worry about anything, really. I know there's like Prometheus and everything, but they don't have to worry about that stuff because they're so far in the future of that and then in the past of this that they can do whatever they want. I love that we're getting that it looks like we're on like a target lock on Alien. Like, we're going to get to that Alien movie. This is going to end somewhere around there. So I don't know. I'm really excited to see where the third episode goes. I don't even know where it's going to go, how it's going to go. Obviously, she got to go and rescue her brother. I will say, I hope this doesn't turn into a Save My Brother weekly show where at the end of every episode he gets put in another predicament. But we'll have to wait to see. I do like that these new droid AI kid things, that these creatures don't want them, really. They don't recognize them because they're not human. And that begs the question, what is human? What is to be alive and all that? And I think that's going to be a fascinating question that's going to be posed throughout this series and possibly, eventually answered. But those are my thoughts. I probably have more, but I just watched it and I loved it. And I wanted to record this and talk about it and just say, I can't wait for next week. And September 24th is when all of this is going to come to an end. And though that day can come soon enough for two reasons. One, I mean, I don't want the show to end. And two, that means it's fall. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Give us a like and a subscribe. And until next time, may be the master of your own universe.